Hey guys! So today we are talking about form in music. Every piece of music has a specific structure to it. This one might look familiar to you because this was an activity in Seesaw last week. It's called The Wild Horseman and is by Robert Schumann, played on the piano. And what I had you guys do for the activity was pretend that your hands are horses. And so for section A, where you hear the higher piano sounds, you would gallop one horse, and then whenever it switches to a lower sound, you gallop the other horse, okay? So if you remember doing that in Seesaw last week, you can just practice along with us and review. If you don't remember, you can follow me because I'm gonna do it with you as well. Section A. One. Section B. And A. Good job. So what happened in section B that sounded different than section A? I'll let you think about that for just a second. What I heard was section A was a higher, and then section B was, it was a lower, but it was the same. It was the same melody, but just lower. So we call that section B. Here is a map of if it was written out just as letters. Let me grab my arrow. The first section goes like that, and then we had it repeat. So that's why you heard it twice. So we had A, then B, the lower section, and then A. Almost all pieces of music can be written out like this, and it's not always just A or B. Sometimes there's a section C, sometimes there's a section D, but a lot of times in music, certain sections will come back at different points in the song. For example, some pieces have A, B, C, A. So A to start and A to end. Okay, so follow along with this chart, A and B, with your horses as we listen to the song again, and try to pinpoint the exact moment that we change from the first A section to the second A section. Right there. Good job. Did you hear when the first A section started to repeat? So now we're going to play a game that's called Name That Sound. You probably remember it from last week. We're going to go ahead and finish it out and do the last half of the sounds that we didn't get to last week. Okay, so here's the first one. See if you can name that sound. I'll let you think for a second. What was that sound? If you guessed someone jumping in the water or something being thrown into the water and making a splash, you're correct. Here's the next one. I'll let you think. If you guessed bike bell, you're correct. Here is the next one. What sound was that? If you guess an airplane, then you're correct. Here's another sound. You might have heard this sound on a TV show. If you guessed an audience laughing or canned laughter, then you're correct. Here's another. Has anyone heard this animal before? I'll let you listen one more time. If you guessed sheep, you're correct. We have a couple more sounds to go. This was a downward moving sound. So it sounded like something was falling from a very high place all the way down. And music does the same thing. Sometimes it goes from high to low, and it can sound like, And then, of course, sometimes it goes from low to high. Here's another sound. Have you ever heard this animal? If you guessed a horse, you're correct. 2 more sounds. What does this sound like? I'll let you listen one more time. If you guessed crickets outside, then you're correct. And this is the last sound of the Name That Sound game. And that last sound is a harp, which is an instrument that is also a stringed instrument that you play. It leans up against you on your shoulder, and you reach out in front of you and play the strings. Good job at playing Name That Sound. Now we're going to move on to talking about measures and bar lines. What you see right here on the screen is called a measure of music. Let me grab my drawing tool. Okay. So this symbol we can come back and talk about later, but it's just for your information. It's called a treble clef, which means when you see this, that the notes that are going to be on this staff when you see a treble clef are going to be the higher notes on the piano or an instrument instead of the lower ones. And we have a different sign for whenever the notes are low. But what we're talking about mainly is this space between here and here. All of this. It's called a measure, and it's basically a house that the notes live inside. So this measure currently does not have any notes in it, but this space is called a measure. We also have bar lines that look kind of like this, and that's how we differentiate between one measure and the next measure. So I have a video that explains measures and bar lines a little bit more, and I wanted to bring this up and let you guys watch it.
The measure. When talking about the bar lines, I mentioned the word measure. When a bar line creates space for music notes, we call that a measure. The measure is just like a room in a music hotel. So we see here that there are 4 rooms or measures in the top floor of this music hotel. If we take a close look at one room, we notice the music notes are all together on their own bed, and the bar line acts as walls in the hotel. Let's take a look at the piece Bar Line Rock. Can you guess how many measures there are? If you said 4, then you are correct. The measure.
Okay, so like the video said, measures are like the houses that a note lives in. So let's look at this piece of music right here. How many measures, and it tells you right here on the screen, but I still would like you to count how many measures do you see here? And I'll let you think for about 10 seconds and then we will count them together. Okay, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 measures. Now let's count the bar lines that we have. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And those are very helpful because they help divide up the notes into the right categories. Right here we have the time signature and it says 3/4. The top number will always be the amount of beats that you have in one measure. If you notice here, just for example, the first measure has 1, 2, 3 beats. And then the bar line to tell us there's the 3 beats, moving on to the next 3 beats. Okay. Let me take all my drawings away. Look at this picture and count how many measures you see, and then count how many bar lines you see. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, let's count them together. We have 1 measure, 2 measures. For bar lines, we have 1 and 2 bar lines. Extra points for you if you can remember what this symbol means. It's called a treble clef, and it means that the notes that come after it are going to be on the higher end of the instrument rather than the lower end. And let's go ahead and sing The More We Get Together song, and we can add a new verse onto it today. So sing the first verse with me, and then we can echo sing and learn the second verse.
So the more we get together, 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 oh, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. Oh, the more we get together, the happier we'll be.
So we didn't go over this part yesterday, but the second half of that verse says, 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. Oh, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. Okay, so echo after me. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. Ready, go. 'Cause your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. Good, and then you just say, oh, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. Okay, let's see what our second verse says.
Oh, the more we learn together, together.
So it sounds like learn together. So it would sound like this. Oh, the more we learn together, together, together. Oh, the more we learn together, the happier we'll be. Give that one a try, but use the word learn instead of get together. Ready, go. Oh, the more we learn together, together, together. Oh, the more we learn together, the happier we'll be. Okay, everybody. Make sure you log in for the next lesson this week and have a great rest of your day.